I'm about to tell you something that you've probably never heard in the entirety of your life. You need to stop learning. And look, before you freak out, let me explain so you know exactly what I'm talking about and why I say that, because it goes against the grain of everything that a lot of people, including myself, teach. But it's something I've realized recently, and it's the main reason why you are still stuck and why you're not making progress towards the goals you're setting for yourself. Now, before we dive into this, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who do not know me, my name's Carson. I started this channel as a way to talk about the things I'm learning, the mistakes I'm making, in order to make sure you don't make those same mistakes and become the best version of yourself a little bit faster. So, learning is this thing that, it's so important in our lives, right? In order for us to get better at any skill, any task we want to complete, in order for us to become successful in any area, we have to first learn, whether that be through watching videos or whether that be through trial and error. And I think that's the big discrepancy, is that a lot of people don't realize there is actually two ways to learn. And we all just focus on the first option, which is watching videos, doing research, sitting on our couch and figuring out, okay, I want to start running. What's the best running shoe? I want to start a business. I want to start a YouTube channel. What's the best camera? What gear do I need? Trying to figure out absolutely everything we possibly can, which is great. There's always going to be a place for that in our lives. But here's why I wanted to make this video. Is because so many people let this period of research, as we like to call it, learning about what we actually need to be doing, as a chance to procrastinate from the end goal. And so after realizing how much I've done this in my own life and seeing it done in so many other people's lives that I've worked with as well, I started trying to figure out, why is this? And what can we do? And I've kind of come to the conclusion that you watching this, pretty much almost guaranteed, is that you already know everything that you need to know. The only thing stopping you is doing those things consistently. Crazy, right? You've probably never heard that in your entire life. And I know when I first thought about it, I was almost a little bit repulsed by it. I'm like, no, there's no way. I need to keep learning. And that's very true. But the problem is, learning without taking action is procrastination. If you want to achieve your goals, it doesn't matter how much you learn. It doesn't matter if you have Mark Zuckerberg sitting behind you while you work when you're trying to build a startup, telling you everything that you could possibly need to know. If you are just listening instead of actually putting what he says into practice, it's not going to go anywhere. Yet for some reason, we feel like sitting down and watching these videos, doing this research is so productive. And it's a false sense of progression. So, as a lot of you know from watching these videos, I have a self-improvement community called Elevate, right? And when I figured this out, I was kind of like, frig. I am contributing to the problem. My entire community is built around this course that I spent a year creating, where people can watch it and they're not really required to take action. I'm just feeding into the problem. So I literally spent the last 5 months completely rebuilding everything. And I kind of made a bold move. I moved all of the curriculum that I spent a year creating into a free community. It is completely free for anyone to access. And so I had to think, okay, what can I do for the premium members now? The people who are paying, the people who want progression faster. And it was super clear. I had to do exactly what that philosophy I figured out was. And that was helping people do it consistently. So I changed things around completely. I started having required check-in structures, whether that be daily, weekly, and monthly. The weekly check-ins, for now at least, I'm personally going to be reviewing them myself. So if someone starts falling off, if they're not doing the things they tell themselves they're going to do, I can kind of nip them in the butt and say, look, like, what's going on? Why are these things creeping up again? Why are these bad habits creeping up? Why did you miss a gym day last week? And make sure that people don't fall off going unnoticed. Because, I mean, looking back in my own life, there were so many times where I would just learn, more information, and I wouldn't take action. And no one would say, what's going on? I would just completely fall off unnoticed. And so when I create Elevate and when I think about what I want to do with it, I always think, what did I need when I was first starting off? What do I still need now? And I feel like this is finally that point where I feel like, okay, this has everything that I would possibly need to achieve my goals. So I want you to remember, whether you join Elevate or not, I really don't care. But remember, learning will only get you so far. You know everything that you need to know. I can guarantee it for the situation you're at right now. You've probably done years of research up until this point anyways. Just get out there and start doing. Mess up. Learn from your mistakes. You're going to learn so much faster from going out and doing something and failing than a million videos telling you that exact same thing. Because when you do it, it causes more pain. It causes more discomfort. And that is what we need to grow. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you at least learned one thing new from this video. As you can see from back behind me, that is Elevate. So, for those of you who are like, yeah, this kind of resonated with me, I definitely have been kind of stuck in the procrastination loop of just learning, and not doing. Elevate might be the right fit for you. So, whether you join the free, the paid, I really don't care, but I have a link down in the description of this video that you can go and check out. There'll be a little video on the about page, that video right there. You can watch it, it's a couple minutes, it'll help you decide which version is going to be best for you. And either way, I'm in Elevate pretty much every day. I would love to see you inside of there and help you reach your goals. Ladies and gentlemen, keep learning, of course, but just take action when you learn. Don't let this false sense of progression keep you from achieving your goals. I'm very passionate about this, if you can't tell. I appreciate you all watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.